optimistic. All that.
Happy and optimistic is great. Okay, you just had your first quantum healing hypnosis session. You've been hypnotized before many times.
Yes.
How was this for you?
Really wonderful, transformative, and it was very powerful and insightful and physically more transformative than I expected. Like you could see, but they couldn't in the video, but like I was surprised by how much actual physical sensation and movement and everything came through my body. But
you've had a complete shift. I mean, when you first came, you were completely different. You were just kind of in a grief lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
You're completely different now. You look completely different.
Yeah.
In all ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. You are an incredibly powerful creator and healer.
Thank you.
You are.
You are too.
Thank you. I am. I love it. Yes. And so you came with some physical issues. You had uterine blockage and all of that and hemorrhaging and everything. We found, what did we find in your uterus?
We found a dark energy being or something that thought it was a dark energy, a succubus.
A succubus. Did that surprise you at all?
Yes.
It's always amazing, some of these energies that are in the body. Yeah. And so how does your lower body feel? Are you having any sensations at all in the pelvic bowl?
It feels so much more open. Everything feels more open and expansive and moving. I've got a little twingy bit that, where things are just finding their way back to being, to having sensation. Yeah. Like there was a lot of like absence of sensation.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of all dense and
because you had mentioned, you said it felt like a boulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you surprised at how it got in there?
No.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
You kind of knew it on some levels. Yes. And so as it was being released, as it was pulling itself out, and we had Archangel Michael there helping, what was that like for you? What were you experiencing?
It was really intense, especially the pulling of the cords out. I mean, I could physically feel this almost like gluey, sticky attachments coming off and coming out. And then when the kind of mass of it, actually when you had it find its own light and expand its light, that's when it really just went and it was sort of gone. And then it was gone, it wasn't that big of a change when it was gone because it was light then, so but that was incredible. What's one of the things that surprised me is how large or how much attachment throughout my
it had attached throughout your entire body, which I felt that when you first came in and we were doing the pre-interview, I felt that I got sacral chakra blocked. That's what I heard.
Right.
And going into the root, and I saw it attaching to your toes. And then I saw it going up into the kidneys and adrenals and messing with your whole energy system in your body.
Yeah.
Because you already know that body is an organic mechanism.
Right.
So it was completely blocking your solar plexus, your ability to create. It was blocking your ability to physically manifest what you need. And it's blocking the root, which is where we are physically getting into the body. We're able to regulate the weight, and where we are creating our actual physical abundance, finances, and all of our physical comforts. So your experience with poverty is coming from a lot from that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how does that feel to you to actually have like actual tangible evidence as to why you've experienced the physical hardships financially that you have? How does that feel?
Well, feels like good, but like I wish I would have done something about it earlier.
But what have you learned from it? I mean, it taught you.
Right.
I mean, you came here to be human to experience this, and you're a very powerful healer and creator and storyteller and dancer and all of that. And it's been part of your journey. I mean, now you have a whole lot more to use for writing, all this writing, because you wanted to know what your life purpose is, but you already knew what it was, didn't you?
I mean, I had a good sense that yes.
You've already been doing it.
Right.
Yeah. And now that, now that we're in all this shift, everything that's happening right now, we're in the event, we're in the huge reset on the planet, the 2020 time. Now we know everything's been stopped, and now you know what you're focusing on.
Right.
And so your higher self gave you all of the guidance of what's your mantra?
Oh yeah, my mantra is freedom and fun will bring just power.
Will bring just power.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
which is like a super resolution of some, like, my concern, my sort of like struggle with just wanting to make sure that if I go do something like preach, if I'm going to go tell people something, I want to make sure that whatever power I create is just. It comes from a just and righteous place. So
it does.
Yeah.
Yes. And so you are meant to meditate, hydrate, and dance, which I just love that you kept mentioning that. Yeah. And I'm like, I think that's something for everybody.
Probably. It's not going to hurt anybody to do those things, right?
I'm like, that is so awesome. Meditate, hydrate, and dance. I'm like, that's what I do. Yeah. I'm just like, that is so cool. I've never heard anybody's higher self give that as like the daily practice of meditate, hydrate, and dance, or, just whenever you feel called. That's just so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had such...
And fun.
Right?
Like, none of those things are not fun.
No.
So
it was so powerful. So do you feel like you got your answers to your questions? We asked
everyone. Yes, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you have direction.
Yeah. And I also feel like it gave me kind of access to be able to go to that place for further clarification if I need to for some other things that may come up. So kind of open the portal again or reopen whatever, healed that up.
Absolutely.
So that was fantastic too.
Oh, absolutely. Very much so. And your guides, a lot of ascended masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so beautiful. Yeah. All of the communication that they had for you.
Yeah.
I loved that. I loved that when Jesus came in.
Yeah.
That was very cathartic.
Yeah.
I felt all of that.
Yeah.
That was really powerful. That's amazing. So do you feel like you would recommend this to others?
Oh, absolutely.
What would you recommend about it?
I would recommend this to anybody anybody who's on a healing journey, kind of for anything. Yeah. For me, certainly for feeling, getting out of feeling stuck. Brilliant for that. That was incredible. But I think for healing and, healing emotional concerns, or feeling lost, feeling with a drift, and then, physical, especially mysterious physical maladies that, have no explanation. Wow.
Right. Because you tried everything. You've done everything except this.
Right.
And it turned out to be a psychic block, really.
Right.
It turned out to be a spiritual attack.
It's super empowering. And if, as we know, healing comes from within, right? And it is all about aligning, and it's incredible as an energy alignment experience. And
because you had some good pauses, were you dueling with your ego at all?
There were a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of times where, where the ego voice is like, don't say that. Don't.
Right. Because you were coming in a couple of times and saying, well, it was just, the ego will judge. Yeah. Well, that sounds kind of stupid or whatever. It's like, I don't want to talk to your ego. I know we talked about that too. And
I'm glad you warned me about that, because it would have maybe caught me off guard.
Yeah, we want to prepare for it.
And I liked being able to switch. It was really interesting to have you change from talking to like my higher self to going into like the past life versions. And it did make it easier when you addressed that specific aspect.
Yep. We're talking.
Made it easier to focus, I guess. Because Well, I mean, when you're psychic, there's lots of information. There's a lot of places that one could go, right?
There's a lot. Well, we're
and
multidimensional.
A lot of things to pay attention to. So
yeah, we're talking to the multidimensionality of you, and you are all of these energies and personalities and spirits. Those are all fragments of you,
right?
And so to be able to see it from the higher self and realize, okay, this is all me.
Right.
These are all parts of me that are playing out to learn.
Right.
And when you go into the higher self and you see that, and then, okay, let's go into that life where that originated.
Right.
Like with that soul that you were having those, this life and then those 2 other lives with, one in Atlantis and one in Lemuria. And to be able to really see that origin of why I don't like her.
Right. Right. That was really interesting.
It was.
And then to feel like, okay, that's done.
It is done. It's
and
finished.
Great. And
sure.
Yeah.
It's finished.
And it wasn't quite done for me until going through this. So that was
to
nice
see
too,
this is what I'm learning.
Oh, okay. So
I'm learning to stand in my own power.
Right.
You're learning to trust yourself. You went through this with her in order to go back to you. Trust myself.
Right.
Realize that I don't need anybody else. Realize that I don't need to trust anybody else. I've got me.
Right.
I have my own power. Because this is a life for you to stand in your own shoes and stand in your own heart and stand in your own power. Because you're really a leader in this lifetime.
Right.
You're a leader of spirit, which is why you're a preacher.
Right.
And a preacher talks with universe. And a preacher talks with the ascended masters, which is why the ascended masters are your guides.
Right.
Because you're here, they are your best friends.
Right.
They are your partner.
Right.
I was saying that the other day when I was walking.
They are my tribe.
They are your tribe.
I know.
I was saying that the other day when I was walking. I'm like, I know my partner is within me. And then it was like, this is what I heard. Source is your partner. I was like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Source is my partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for those of us that don't have a human partner, it's like, why not? I don't need a partner. Do I want him? I do. He'll come someday. Yeah. But it's like, no, Source is my partner. Yeah. And even though you're married, Source is still your partner as well.
Right.
It's great.
And has to be the primary partner.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Otherwise it goes terribly wrong for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's powerful. Well, fabulous. So if you want a quantum healing hypnosis session with me, you can go to my website, Sonia Wilder Wellness. It's in the description box down below. And when it's your time, we'll get you scheduled. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
That was good.
You're amazing.
You are too.
You are